We're getting immediate reaction to the latest speech from the Syrian President Bashar al-Assad from the highest levels of the Egyptian government. We're here at the presidential palace in Cairo, and I just sat down for a lengthy interview with the Egyptian President Mohamed Morsy. He has no love lost for the Syrian President Bashar al-Assad. He wants Bashar al-Assad to go, and go right away. Listen to this exchange that I had with President Morsy. So you want Bashar al-Assad to leave, to give up power. One I guess, amendment to that. Do you believe he should be tried by the International Criminal Court for war crimes?
It is not I who want this, but the Syrian people who want this. This phase is the phase of the people. Similar to what the Egyptian people wanted, the Syrian people want it, and we support the Syrian people. And they're going to win, and they have the will to win.
So you say the Syrian people want Bashar al-Assad to be tried for war crimes?
The Syrian people, through their revolution and through the movement, will, when the bloodshed stops, move to a new stage where they will have an independent parliament and a government of their choosing. And then they will decide what they want to do against those who committed crimes against them. It is the Syrian people who decide.
It's clear that President Morsy feels that time is running out for the Syrian leader, that the Syrian leader can either do it the easy way or the hard way, but he wants him gone. He wants him gone right away. He says that's what the Syrian people want.
One, two, two. Present, the head of the government, presidents, and the leaders of the youth organizations and the liberal unions, brothers and sisters. The Syrian people are stronger, and the Syrians promised them that they won't succeed. Internationally, everybody knows that Syria was and will always be free, sovereign, and will not accept bowing down and dictations. First and foremost, Russia and China, together with the BRICS countries and many other countries, reject the meddling in the affairs of a country and destabilizing the region based upon their principles and their interests and their intent on the freedoms of the people in deciding their own fate. And so we express all our thanks to these countries, first and foremost Russia and China and Iran and all of the countries which stood in support of Syria against any attempts to intervene in the internal affairs. These countries won't see from the Syrian people except admiration, and we owe it to them. We recognize what they have done for us. So I'd like to salute those people who were able to make these national achievements according to their own abilities. I know some of them, I met some of them directly, some others I heard about them. However, there are unknown soldiers. We'd like to salute them. We say that we rely very much on their initiatives. The more we go forward in combating terrorism, the more there is a possibility to achieve success with respect to fulfilling this vision. It is not directed to those who don't want to try. And so we will hear today, we will hear a lot of rejections from certain sides whom you know, and we told them before, why do you reject something which is not directed to you from the beginning in order not to waste time? This is a message for all those who work from the outside to focus on where they should put their efforts. We don't want anyone to come and say what we should do in our political process. Our country, which is thousands of years old, knows how to manage its own affairs. That we take steps which really reflect the consent of the people and the national interest. And if we understand this, if we understand these words, and I think what I said is very clear, very simple, everybody knows, everybody who comes to Syria and leaves Syria knows that Syria accepts advice, however, it doesn't accept dictations. It accepts assistance, however, it doesn't accept oppression. So based upon all of this, everything which you might hear or which you have heard before, the ideas, the slogans, the points of view, the initiatives, the statements in the media by certain officials, this all is not important. If these slogans are spring slogans, they are just bubbles of soap. So any explanation for any issue which is outside the circle of Syrian sovereignty, for us, this means dreams only. They have the right to dream. They can live in their own dream world. However, they cannot make us live in their world. We will not go ahead with any steps except if it's related to the Syrian people, if it takes into consideration the interests of Syria and the Syrian people. So I salute those who own the rights, who deserve to be saluted, the people, the men of the Syrian Arab Army. And the people preserve the army by taking the army in and supporting them. Heroics is for every soldier who fell in the battle, and the heroics is for all and every soldier who took up arms and sacrificed with his blood to complete the mission of those who fell. And I'd also like to salute every citizen who carried out his national duty by standing in support of our armed forces in different ways, according to everyone's own abilities. They are the source of pride for Syria, and history will record their names because they are writing history with their blood and with their courage. They were and they still are the supporters of the people, side by side with those who support our nation. The fire of their hatred has targeted everyone, and it entered into the, of course, martyrdom. The feelings of martyrdom have entered everywhere, in all homes, including me. So we salute every honorable Palestinian inside Syria who lived up to the pledge and appreciated the Syrian stances and also took the burden with the blood and faith like the Syrian people and didn't deal with Syria like a hotel. When the situation gets worse, they leave. And hand by hand, despite all of the pains and wounds, we will walk with Syria to a stronger future, a more bright future. We will move forward. We will not be afraid of their bullets. We will not be terrorized by their hatred, because we are the people of righteousness, and Allah always is with righteousness. And Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
That was the Syrian President Bashar al-Assad speaking in Damascus, speaking about a solution that he has drawn up. And I'm just going to speak about the rough outline of that solution. He said in stage one, regional and international countries should be responsible for stopping terrorism in the country, and that armed groups must stop their attacks as well. He said the Syrian army will then stop its operations, but will reserve the right to defend. He said the borders of the country must be secured. All parties must within the country must hold a dialogue, whether coming from inside or outside the country. He said national dialogue must result in a document of sorts which rejects terrorism and meddling by others. He said that also there must be an agreement on new laws, etc. He says once those laws have been drawn up, the new constitution will be put to a referendum. If that is agreed upon, the laws will then be implemented. He said a general amnesty will be upheld through a reconstruction conference in which compensation will be given to those who have lost much in this ongoing crisis. He said that just because the country is ready to do that does not mean the country will not fight terrorism. He said none of that initiative will be accepted by those who this is not directed towards, already previewing the fact that the Syrian National Coalition, quote unquote, may not accept this. He said this is for those who love their country only. He said any proposal by any side or country is unimportant if it is not accepted by Syrians. He said that Syria does not need help in its political process, but those who want to help Syria must in fact stop terrorists from coming into Syria and wreaking havoc. And he said that Syrians do not want anyone to tell Syrians how to manage their internal political affairs. He also spoke at length about the transitional phase, saying that he wondered what this transitional phase was coming from what to what, essentially. He said that are we to hand over a national government over to foreigners? He said a normal transition would be from the present situation to a better one, not a worse one. And he said that any initiative that Syria has so far accepted has been one that respects Syrian sovereignty. At the end, he said he saluted those people who have defended Syria, whether regular citizens or those who work against terrorists entering from Syria, especially from the Turkish side. And he also saluted the army officers fighting to protect the nation. Again, that was the Syrian President Bashar al-Assad speaking there live in Damascus about a political solution to the situation in Syria.
The Syrian people deserve, and he wants to make sure that that happens. Wolf Blitzer, CNN, Cairo.